What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another collection video. This time we're going to take a look at my Super Nintendo games. I'm pretty proud of this collection. I don't have Earthbound or nothing crazy like that, but I got some decent games, and if there's a specific system you would like to see me do next, leave me a comment, let me know what that is. I collect a little bit of everything, so without further ado, let's start with my boxed Super Nintendo games. I'll start with my boxed games. You see ActRaiser right there. That game is actually really cool. It's really interesting. I was really happy to find the box. I had the cartridge before I got the box, which is usually happens, like Contra 3. Bought that box dirt cheap. I bought a huge box of SNES boxes, and I had all the games, which was awesome. So I got a decent boxed collection of SNES games. And Super Nintendo stuff is getting harder and harder to find and more expensive. There's Final Fantasy 2, 3, and Mystic Quest, which is a cool little trilogy to have in their boxes. But they're getting more and more expensive, so luckily I got a lot of these before the price went up like crazy. So you'll see games that are worth a lot of money. We've got Street Fighter 2 and Street Fighter 2 Turbo, both in the box. I played a lot of Street Fighter 2 growing up on the SNES at my grandma's house. There's Super Mario Kart, the best racer on the system by far. But you'll see some worth money games here, and luckily I didn't spend retail on them. I saw a couple of the NHL games there. Those are actually a lot of fun. I don't play a lot of sports games, but the NHL ones are enjoyable, at least the old NHL ones. I haven't played an NHL game in so long. Super Mario All-Stars, must have on the system. F-Zero, another great racing game on the SNES. Donkey Kong Country is one of my all-time favorite games, regardless of system. I love that game. I was very happy to get the box for that one. There's Super Double Dragon. Spider-Man X-Men Arcade's Revenge is awful. Don't bother with that game. And there's Super Metroid. Probably the best box game I have. One of the best games on the system. And now we're to the loose games. Need some label upgrades, as usual, but it happens. Super R-Type, great shooter. Got the Super Scope 6. I've actually got the gun in its original box. It's on a shelf. Super Adventure Island. Kind of a strange game, but really good, really enjoyable. Super Star Wars. Got all three of the Super Star Wars games. Super hard games. I've never beaten them. I've never even got that far in them. But they play really well, and I'm a fan. The Legend of Zelda: A Link to the Past, another must-have on the system. Now, I haven't played much Zelda games. I own almost all of them. Never beaten a single Zelda game, so that's something I need to go back and do. And I hear A Link to the Past is probably the best. Oh, and there's Mega Man X. One of my all-time favorite games. Definitely my favorite game on the system. And sadly, I don't have X2 or X3, but the first one is fantastic. Ghoul Patrol, the sequel to Zombies Ate My Neighbors. It's not as good as Zombies Ate My Neighbors, but it's not awful. It's passable. Turtles in Time, the greatest side-scrolling beat-em-up ever made. And there's Castlevania 4, the best Castlevania. Well, maybe not. I think I prefer Symphony of the Night, personally, but Castlevania 4 is amazing. Got Super Bomberman 1 and 2. Those are fairly hard to find on the system. Super Punch-Out. I don't like it as much as the original Punch-Out, but it's still great. Final Fight. Excellent game. Lagoon. Pretty cool RPG. Out of This World's a really interesting, really tough, like memory game almost. You do the same thing over and over again until you beat the level. And we got Donkey Kong Country 2 and 3. All excellent. Batman Returns is excellent. Kirby Superstar, excellent. Got a nice chunk of games there that are all great and definitely worth having if you're picking up Super Nintendo games. Mario is missing, and Mario's Time Machine, and neither of them are all that great, but they're cool Nintendo Mario learning games. They're definitely interesting and worth checking out. Saturday Night Slam Masters, really cool fighting game with a pro wrestling aesthetic. You fight in a ring, you pin super ghouls and ghosts, super tough. Lion King, super tough. Mystical Ninja, it's a pretty interesting game that nobody talks about. There's Secret of Mana and Secret of Evermore, two great RPGs. Doom, the only red cartridge I own. I think the only other one I even know of. There's a Spider-Man game that I don't have. I like the Spider-Man games, I want to get them, but I never see them. Jurassic Park and Jurassic Park Part Deuce. I prefer the Sega Genesis ones, but still decent, I guess, for movie license game anyway. Total Carnage, the sequel to Super Smash TV. Both those games are pretty good. I prefer Smash TV myself, but if you can get either one, definitely get them. Check them out. Robocop versus Terminator. It's an okay side scroller. It's a cool concept. I've always been a huge fan of the Terminator and the Terminator series, so I definitely had to pick that one up. Super Mario RPG, and Alien vs Predator, another cool versus game. Both of those are worth checking out. Obviously, if you like RPGs, go with Mario. If you like side-scrolling beat-em-ups, go with Alien vs Predator. Street Fighter Alpha 2, great game. All the Street Fighter games are excellent. If you can check them out, do it. Super Mario World, a lot of people say that's the best game, and there's Yoshi's Island, which some people say is the other best game on the system. I disagree, but they're both great. And there's the Super Game Boy, and that is my last Super Nintendo game. Hopefully this wasn't too boring. Hopefully you enjoyed this in some way, and leave me a thumbs up if you did. Please subscribe for more content, and if you want to see a specific game collection, because I collect a little bit of everything, let me know in the comments below, and I'll try to do that one next. Thanks for watching, and I will talk to everybody later.